Back on Gerty Rude, back again, the Wednesday mood. Right, let me turn my fan off. I have to turn it off, otherwise you won't be able to hear me. And you all want to hear me. Well, I've got to get on here now because I think my head has actually, my brain, what's left of it, has blown up. There you go. It's just shot straight off into the stratosphere. It's right up there in outer space and on its way to Uranus, any minute now. So here we have Julia Hartley, what lives above the bleeding brewery, and this bleeding cretin. Right, let's go back a bit. And we're talking about the GLOOMING gangs. I call them GLOOMING because I'm a small channel. Yes, we're going to go, well, as she says, Fantasyland, darlings. We're all off to Fantasyland. Is it like Disney? Or is it just like hell, but with no rides, or something like that? Mind you, I hate theme parks with a passion. And so it is hell. So there, fantasy world. Ethnicity of glooming perpetrators. Right, let's just crack on. For I have yet another stroke. Let's go.
But he's been in power a year. Until 2 days ago, the policy was there wasn't going to be a public inquiry because that was a far right bandwagon to jump on. But you're happy that he's jumped on it now. So it was bad, a bad thing, and now it's a good thing.
So
even though
a load of girls on an outrageously industrial scale, for decades on decades. I mean, if I'm honest, it was going on when I was younger, darlings. So it's it's not something that's just the last 20. Although kudos to those young ladies that have, along with some other people, have highlighted it and really run with it and are determined to have it out in the public domain and to breathe the air of daylight. I was going to say sunshine, but it ain't, is it? Really, it's not. But to be seen for what it is. So anyway, we're back in this again, and she said far right, and we're going to carry on with this far right. Well, I go far out of my bleed mind at the ignorance of these people. Ignorant.
there's not a single fact that has changed in between.
Let's go.
It's messy, isn't it, for him? And this is, I think, his communication. I think this is his desperate need to try and constantly be seen to be telling the truth. It just comes out the opposite way and comes out disingenuous.
Do you think he has an urge to be seen to do that? I don't think he has any urge to be seen to tell the truth. I think he thinks we're all complete imbeciles.
Listen, he won't even tell the truth about his own private personal life, which isn't private or personal because you're a public figure. Okay, so he's not going to tell the truth about that. Why are we also surprised when he lies and lies and lies and lies? That git couldn't even lie straight in bed. Let's go.
Who have memories of goldfish and literally can't see or hear anything that happened 20 minutes ago. Right. He genuinely, he literally stands there, Orwellian style, saying what I didn't say it. Like, I mean, you're literally on record.
What's your sign, female at birth, darlings? Because he seems to be holding her hand, very uncannily, rather somewhat awkward, all in all. So, there we go. Here we have the, I don't know what he is, automaton in chief. Let's go, come on.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen this with basically every major politician in every Western country for the past 10 years.
It's like
denial of the truth, isn't it? And it's kind of like, no, that's not, that hasn't happened. So, not happy.
Oh, what is it, like tea time in the old people's home or something, these two old gits? Right, let's go.
With that, don't think it's right. The far right comments, about the situation don't change in my mind. There is
far right. What are you going on about far right? Well, can you just point out where the far right is? Because if you're going to hallucinate and whatever it is you're sedating, with no actual evidence, I'd like to see where this evidence of the far right. So it's only far right if you talk about young girls being outrageously outraged on an industrial scale and tortured, I might say. Isn't it funny? I can say outraged rather than grape, but I'm okay. I get by the censors. I can say tortured. You see, I can say that. And the GLOOMING gangs. So there you go, and it's far right. So okay. So let's just dissect this a little bit because Fatso over here, he has all my pies, which is myth me to start with. And he gets worse, this one. The far right, you see, it's far right to say about it. Well, two things. Firstly, if it takes people that on your mythical an imaginary and somewhat ethereal far right, and you're alluding to that horrible little German git that used to get him round himself about the place in Europe in the 30s and 40s. That's who you're elucidating to. That's all of you are alluding to. Anybody that says anything wrong, oh, you're far right, you're far right. He was a bloody socialist, you numpties. How many more times do I have to keep telling you? It was on the bloody packet. The German Socialist Workers' Party. There you go, it is in the title. Stop saying far right. You're driving me into an early bleeding. I'm gonna have to go and have a stroke, or just stroke myself to calm down. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Can you stop saying it? And anyway, let's just go on this little mad trip. I don't know what you've all been on, the old edibles, have you? On the old jelly babies, right? Let's just say that this mythical creature of the big bad bogeyman in the corner over there on the farthest right that you can possibly opine over. Yeah, let's just say they exist. And let's just say it's them nasty bad people over there that have said all this time this is going on an industrial scale to girls as young as 6 and upwards to 15, 16 years old, yeah, for decades and decades, hundreds of thousands of girls, yeah, and nobody's listened to them. Where does that leave us? That it's taken these bad bogeymen to say something that nobody else would say. Okay, well, not me, obviously I've been banging around about it for ages, but you know, there is that to it. So you can't have it both ways. Either the far right exist and have been saying, look what's going on over here, and nobody's doing anything about it, and that makes them morally superior to these bunch of bleeding clutchless creeps, yeah? Spineless as well. Or they don't exist and they have no idea what they're talking about. They just bandy that far right. It's like being called a misandrist or a misogynist or a racist nowadays, isn't it? If you say something like, oh, you're a racist, oh, you're a misogynist, oh, you're a misandrist, oh, look at you, oh, you're Islamophobic, you are, oh, look, you're far right, I don't like what you're saying, you're far right, I'm not far bloody wrong either. Stop saying far right, because everybody knows who you mean when you say far right, and he, my darlings, was a bloody socialist. Christ's sake, they're so thick, these people.
A threat of the far right attached to this issue.
But there's only a threat from the far right because it was ignored for so long. Tommy Robinson was able to make hay over this, and actually, you know, for all his other sins, he was actually one of the few people for a long time speaking up about it. He didn't expose this story as many claim on his side, but he
pretty much did with Andrew Norfolk, the Times guy that did something about, was it Easy Meat or something, whatever. Everybody knew about it. Stop. It's like when he came out with Jimmy Savile died, they went, oh, didn't know he was like that. I waited for bloody years for that front page. I was telling all my friends decades before you wait until that old goat dies. Yeah? And everyone went, oh, I didn't know he was like that. All the people, all the BBC people, oh, I didn't know he was like that. I mean, Kelsey, half the bloody nation just sat there and laughed at you lot. Of course you all knew he was like that. Stop. Everybody knew. I mean, I was a kid at the time and even I knew. I didn't know what word it was, but I knew he should have been in prison just for that haircut. And then it's like, oh, I didn't know Jimmy Savile was like, have you seen the man? I mean, it's a walking one, isn't it, really? Come on, take the N and put a B there and call him a Bonce, right? He was a walking, talking, living, bleeding, breathing Bonce, wasn't he? And everyone went, well, I wouldn't have thought that about him. Stop! You all knew. And you all knew about this as well. Stop pretending you didn't. All of you, and you, Junior, bleeding brewery behind the, what's it? And Fatty Arbuckle over here.
I was pretty much the only person talking about this for a while.
No, not true. Not true. If you talk about something like Jess Phillips, you know, I mean, like Jess.
Oh, don't make me laugh. Mess Phillips was talking about the GLOOMING gangs. Well, she's in charge of child abuse. I don't know who give her that remit. Yeah, but she was talking. I don't know what she was talking about. No one cares. She flaps her gum. You just get a lot of bloody awareness out of it, don't you? Don't know what she's bloody talking about. She's got one bloody council house. I've only got one bloody council house. Did I sell it for profit? Here, by God, my mark. Well, I've done, love. She's a wrong un. She's a wrong un. And don't try to sit there and tell me that Mess Phillips was the Messiah. Oh, she was there. Oh, Xana, hey, Xana, look at me. I'm putting all my career and every penny I've ever earned on the line to do the right moral thing. Bullshit. None of you did, not one of you. The only one that did is the eponymous Mr. Lennon. And I think the other guy was singing about him. Do you remember the other one? Was his name John? I think he was warning us, you know. I really do. So anyway, credit where credit's due, and I don't think he's walking around the gaff like all 5 foot pint size of him going, oh, look at me, I'm cock of the walk. Yeah, I was the one that uncovered all the glooming gangs. No, he just spoke about what everybody knew. We all knew. The working classes knew. Everybody knew. It wasn't a big mystery to us. Okay? A lot of us very cowardly, and I'm not including me in this, very cowardly sort of kicked the can down the road and sort of scraped the mud around and looked at the floor a lot, didn't we? We did, metaphorically speaking. Allegorically, we did. We did. But he was the one that held the mantle and kept going no matter what, no matter how many times he was wrecked. And this old snob here goes, well, you can't get away from the fact that this is a convicted criminal. Well, you know, there's lots of people that are convicted criminals that shouldn't be. And I might hesitate to add that there's loads of people out there that should be in prison that aren't, because they're hiding behind some this or some that. Oh, I'm in with the right people, I'm with the shiny people, I know the right sorts, you know. Oh, I'm protected, I can get away with anything I can do what I want. And someone else that stands there, as I say, like a modern day Nelson Mandela, although Nelson Mandela actually was a Marxist who enjoyed, bank robbery, and we don't talk about that now anymore, do we? Because he has actually descended into the echelons of a 20th century iconic saint that we mustn't say anything about. But Robinson didn't do F all, and he was wrecked and ruined. If you go through it all, he went to prison to save his pregnant wife going to prison, because that's what they held over him. So he took the fall. Which of us wouldn't have done that? Because I know I would have done. Mind you, I wouldn't have had a pregnant wife. But if I did, say I was a man, just say, I know I would. Of course I would. Who wouldn't do that? Who wouldn't? I'd get pregnant just so my husband went to prison. Boot on the other foot. No, but seriously, right? The state has ways of shutting people up, and the state also has ways of covering things up, as I've just expounded upon. And if I keep standing here anymore, I swear to God, I literally am either going to have a stroke or a heart attack. I cannot abide BS coming from these talk, bleeding, squawk TV and what lives above the brewery. And that other one, what's his name? Snarky, what do I call him? Snarky Bland Man in the morning. That horrible one. Do you know, what's his name, Mike? Something, I don't know what his name is, I can't, just don't. And GB News, they're full of crap as well. If I hear one more people say, they're far right, go and, I mean, it's like year 6 primary school history. It's not A-level, it's definitely not degree, it's just basic fact. Okay, when you refer to the far right, you're referring to that horrible little bloke in Germany, and we all need to be fully freaking aware that he was a goddamn socialist. And a lot of the people that are running the most potent or pertinent Western countries at the moment are no different to him. It's just they don't march around in a suit like him. Or what was it made from? Hugo Boss, I think, you know. Yes. Well, they probably wear Hugo Boss suits, but just not militaristically styled. And he pretty much covered up most things, didn't he? He thought it was really good eugenics, and he started with the disabled children, disabled people, didn't he? You know, and he did sacrifice many stratas of society on the altar of his, political correctness, his ideology of political correctness, which obviously I'm not going to go into here, but we all know where that went, and it basically started on the weakest, and then carried on into genocide, well, you know, in one deft move, really. I think from 39 to 44, 45, wasn't it, really? So, yes, he had a good run for it, but he'd done most of his misdeeds in the 30s, in the early 30s onwards, and I'm going to keep coming on. If I have to come on here every day and remind everybody, he was a goddamn socialist. He was a socialist, if not a bloody Marxist, for Christ's sake. Yes, it's just that they like wearing nice suits, and they rather liked expanding. He was an expansionist rather than an isolationist, wasn't he, darlings? I mean, this is junior school politics. Where are these people? How can they sit there and misinform the public all the bloody time? There isn't any bloody far right. And if there is some far right to what you're alluding to, look in the bloody mirror at who you lot have just voted into Parliament, you gormless bunch of bleeding turds. Anyway, I'm off, I'm out, I've had enough. Peace out to you all. Bye-bye now, bloody far-right glooming gangs. Of course it was Tommy Robinson. Who else was it that did it? Bleeding Tom and Jerry?